let's move forward with our predictions for the game. We'll start with who's going to stand out offensively for the Michigan Wolverines. I brought it up. I mean, I think a lot of guys will. I brought it up earlier with my prize picks. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to start this November push as he has a couple big games coming up against Penn State and Ohio State to solidify himself as a Heisman Trophy contender. I think he's going to be able to do a lot of damage against this Purdue secondary.
I think you're going to see Blake Corum run for $150. I think it's time for him to break out. I think you're going to see him in November here really start to step it up. So rested, ready, behind an offensive line that's got a lot to prove. Blake Corum is my guy.
I'm going to not name anyone because I promised I wouldn't curse a particular player, but I will say that my player of the game is a running back not named Blake Corum. And I wouldn't be – keep an eye on this too. I know Michigan wants to keep its guys healthy, but – don't be surprised if we start seeing these guys play a little deeper in the fourth quarter just to kind of twist the knife and flip the double birds to everyone about all of this. So I think that might lend itself to bigger numbers for more prominent names. Hint, hint.
I agree with that. And I feel like it's good to get them in a rhythm too, playing full 4 quarters. Maybe not the full 4 if you're up huge, but just kind of get these guys, ready to go for some of those 4-quarter games. Defensively, stand out there. I'm going to go with Jalen Harrell, who had a big game against Purdue the last time around. I think, Chris, you were off by the time I said this, but Purdue starting basically an NAIA right tackle. I think the Michigan Edges are going to find that matchup pretty favorable. And I'll say Jalen Harrell is the guy who is the best recipient of that.
Then I'll say Braden McGregor. I think Braden has been overpowering people, and I think you're going to see him dominate.
Chris Jenkins. I know he was, quote-unquote, working through something during Michigan State week and had time during the bye to rest it up. And now seeing him pop up in the first round of some of these mock drafts again. So I think that national stage, NBC game, I think he'll play really well.
All right. Final score predictions. Chris, I will send you mine after this as we get our article out. So by the time people watch or listen to this, our staff predictions article is up over at thewolverine.com. So check that out. It is a name your score type of game. I'm going to go with 52-7. Michigan covers the big 32.5 point spread and wins easily heading into Penn State.
So that's really 32-7, right? Given the 20 points swing that all the coaches say that stealing
right.
signs. I'm going to say now that Michigan doesn't have the signs, this is going to be a nail biter, guys. It's very clear that that's the only reason that these games have been blowouts. So, in fact, I like Purdue in the upset here, 20-17. No, I'm just kidding. All right, 45-7.
My God.
Yeah, no, 45-7.
Scared.
That'd be bad. That'd be
real bad. 7 points in the fourth quarter or whatever.
Yep.
No shutout this week. We are on shutout watch, though. The conditions are right. Like, that's the distinction there. Like I said, the storyline the rest of this year is that Michigan and Jim Harbaugh should be burned at the stake. So really the only thing that you can do moving forward is just continue to dominate. And Purdue is a mess right now. It's been a really rough first year for that coaching staff down there. I don't like how they've played the last few weeks at all. And I think Michigan will take advantage of that. I have Michigan 45, Purdue 3.
You trust in the field goal kickers. I was going to do that too because right when you think it's not going to happen, it probably does, but I like it. We're all pretty similar there. It'll be tough to judge who wins staff predictions this week, but good luck to everybody out there. Last segment, No Man Knows the Future. We'll pick 4 games, including we'll save the best one for last from around the country. We got 3 Big Ten games, 1 game in the SEC. We'll start with Ohio State at Rutgers. Schiano, the Collusion Bowl. Ryan Day, allegedly, rumored. Rutgers, 18.5 point dog at home, over under 42.5. I got Rutgers to just kind of make it weird, muck it up. I don't know. We'll see.
I see a big bro hug between Schiano and Ryan Day before the game. And then after the game, I see Schiano saying, hey, thanks for taking your foot off the gas a little bit and helping us keep this closer. I think something I like Rutgers to cover. I think Ohio State wins something like 27-13.
Rutgers, I think the Scarlet Knights are back in costume here, of course. Halloween this week, didn't get to partake in that because we were at Schembechler Hall. Rutgers, I think that they're going to get them into a bar fight. I think that Ohio State will win because at this point, I'm sure the league will make it so. I think Big Ten probably hopes quietly that Penn State and Ohio State sort out this Michigan thing on their own so they don't have to step in and do anything, which I don't think they will. I don't think they have any leg to stand on to do that. But long-winded way of me saying Rutgers.
Oh, yeah, good
That's
point.
disguise, by the way, not costume. We like to say disguise.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right, quick, let's get through these. I got a quiche in the oven.
Missouri at Georgia. Georgia's a 15-point favorite, over under 55.5. Number 2 versus number 12 in this game. Georgia's been playing better even after the Brock Bowers injury. I will take them to win big, and I feel like Missouri's that team that in the SEC every year that kind of has a pretty semi-easy schedule early on, gets ranked pretty high, but ends up in the 20s or something like that.
Yeah, Georgia's going to roll here, something like 38 to 17.
Georgia's out for style points after being ranked behind Ohio State in the college football playoff rankings. Georgia by 30.
Penn State at Maryland. Maryland 8.5-point underdog at home, over under 55.5. Maryland, as we talked about earlier, extremely disappointing lately. Penn State is a covering machine unless they're playing Ohio State or Michigan, it seems like, the last couple of years, and I will just continue to ride Penn State there.
Yeah, because James Franklin likes to run it up at the end. So I'm going to go Penn State as well, win by 10 points.
I'll go Penn State. And just a quick thought on this Vegas line. I think a lot of times the lines are very indicative of how you're viewed. If this were Michigan or Ohio State playing Maryland, this is a 14.5-point line, 15.5-point line. I think Penn State has kind of shown itself to be – the shine is worn off from them, I'll say. So give me Penn State to cover, but yikes.
You guys ready for the game of the week?
Let's go.
We got Iowa at Northwestern. We're not even going to pick the game. We're going to pick the over-under, which is at a whopping 30.5 points. Call your shot. Over or under 30.5. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over by about 2 points. It's going to be an ugly game, but yeah, they're going to somehow get over that. I think it opened at 29.5, didn't it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah. Rock fight.
I'm going to do with this game what I did with the Iowa-Minnesota game. I'm dipping it down to 26.5 and taking the under.
And you're hoping for the Cooper DeJean penalty, I think, on the fair catch.
We don't talk about that. The Big Ten, the Big Ten refs made their call.